What's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shay, and today it is time for the July wrap up. So if you don't know, in the months of May, June, July, I have been busy getting a new house, moving into that new house, selling my old house. So my reading habits were a little bit decreased. I probably read the least amount that I've read in years in these specific months. And you're gonna hear my dog barking because my dog has this thing during the middle of the day that if we're not home or if there's only one person home, she would just bark because she is just trying to protect her house. Anyway, with that being said, I do think I read in July more than I did in June and May, so I am on the up and up, and I met quite a few goals in July. So if you don't know how I do my wrap-ups, I normally go from my lowest rated to my highest rated, but first some stats. In the month of July, I read 8 books for a total of 3,778 pages. I also did DNF 1 book. So we'll go ahead and talk about the DNF first. And in the month of July, and I think I vlogged some of this, so if you want to go back and look at my more in-depth thoughts with some of these books, go check out the vlogs. But my goal in July was to read series, and that was like the #1 goal, finish off series. And I did manage to do that in July. But my first DNF is The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I like Lauren Asher. Sometimes I don't. The first 2 books in the series, I liked, they were okay. The 3rd book has a trope that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of, which is Second Chance. Second Chance has to really grab me, and the reason why I was like so hesitant to pick up this book for so long is because it had that trope, and I just knew I wasn't gonna like it. So I DNF'd this. I don't know how far I got into it, 25-30%, I'm not sure, but it just felt like, again, in the Second Chance romance, I'm reading about 2 people and I'm not getting that connection because I'm not seeing them connect. And the flashbacks that were few and far between were too slow for me to feel the connection in real time. So there's not very many authors to me that can pull off Second Chance well. And so I went ahead and DNF'd this one. And so that moves us into our number 8 position, and that is going to be The Housemaid's Secret. This is the 2nd book in the Freida McFadden Housemaid universe, and I gave this one 3 stars. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but I think Freida McFadden kind of has this formulaic thing to her books. And so if you are not a thriller mystery kind of reader, it may shock you, it may, but this one particularly did not shock nor thrill me. But it's a popcorn read, it's entertainment, but it does come in at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is the only romance on this list, and that is going to be Timid by Devney Perry. This is from the 2nd book in her Lark Cove series. I kind of have been hesitant to read any more small town romances. I don't know what it is, but there's nothing in it that really jives with me. And this is supposed to be like romantic suspense, I think, type stories. And both of these characters kind of have certainly a past, and they've lived in the same town. They've known each other forever. The female main character has had a crush on the male main character for a very long time. And of course, the male main character knows she exists, but doesn't look at her in any type of way until now. And while it was a cute romance, I didn't think it brought anything new to the table, and it's not one that I'm going to be thinking about any further past when I read it. So I did give this one 3 stars. Coming in at number 6 is Fleet Champions by Mr. Rob J. Hayes. This is the 3rd book in the Titan Hoppers series. I have enjoyed this series. I think I gave the first one 5 stars. I gave the 2nd and now this one 4 stars. I have really enjoyed a lot of Rob J. Hayes books. I think he's a phenomenal self-published writer. So if you're not familiar with him, you should get to know him. Read some books. My favorite series by him, and the only one that I have completed, is the War Eternal series, which is a fantastic series. Highly recommend. This is his young adult sci-fi. It's young adult, but to me, the only thing that makes this young adult is that the characters are of, younger age, but I don't necessarily think this reads young or anything of the sort. I'm enjoying my time. This is a sci-fi progression fantasy that is following our main character in space, and they of course have left Earth because Earth was dying, and there are some ships that are of course of a higher class and some ships that are of a lower class, and you have our main character and he is from a lower class ship. He doesn't really have any powers. He just thinks he's basically useless. And so what happens is on every ship there are these people that have these powers where they can hop to these big ships they find and kind of get all the supplies they need to keep their ships running, and they're called hoppers. And there are monsters in this world that you have to contend with while you're hopping, while you're doing all the things. And our main character has no abilities. His sister, however, was a hopper, and so he has a lot of kind of expectations on his shoulder, and that's also another thing of why he is feeling down, because his sister was his hopper. She died on a hop and he is nothing. And then one day, of course, he is going to gain the ability to hop, and we go from there. Again, this is a level up progression fantasy. I really like the uniqueness of the progression fantasy, and I also like that it's not super focused on the progression part of the story. There's deeper parts of the story. Whereas when I read like something lit RPG, like Dungeon Crawler Carl, all of those things, I feel like it's more very hyper focused on leveling up and how we're gonna level up and how we're gonna do that. And while this is that way, it doesn't overly hit you on the face. So I would recommend the series. I have really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to continuing on. Coming in at number 5 is The Bound Worlds, which is the third book in the series that starts with The Blinded Stars by Megan O'Keefe. I have really enjoyed Megan O'Keefe. I have really enjoyed this series. I did DNF Velocity Weapon series, but not because I didn't enjoy Velocity Weapon. I gave Velocity Weapon 4 stars when I read it. I just didn't remember anything about the book to continue on. So I was lost when I started book 2, so I DNF'd that series. I do plan on picking it back up, but I did complete this series this month, and I really enjoyed this. And I don't read a lot of sci-fi because I think a lot of times when we think of sci-fi, we think about things that go over our heads. And so this definitely does not do this. This also has a romance element to it. We are following our male main character, who is royalty. His dad certainly is in charge of kind of finding new planets to mine so that they can continue to live. And I'm not going to go into detail because I think a lot of this story hinges on the mystery aspects of it, because there's a lot of twists and turns in here. But what ends up happening is his son, our male main character, is basically all he cares about is like academics, and he likes to be smart, those kinds of things. He's never wanted to play in politics. He's never wanted to go and actually physically mine play. He never wanted to really do what his family does. And then one day he gets trapped on this planet they have gone to mine because there's a crash, and he is trapped on there, and there are certain people there, including our female main character, that play a big role in him trying to find his way and find his leadership. And I overall really enjoyed the series. I really enjoyed the romance. The romance takes a back. It's not the forefront of the series. I would say that this series just is very political with a cute, nice romance. I loved both of our male main character and our female main character. We have a badass female main character in here, and we don't get that a lot in series. So I personally, I gave this series as a total 4 stars. I really, really liked it. I teared up at the end of The Bound Worlds. It was a great ending. It was a great ending. So highly recommend. Coming in at number 4 is going to be The Ixar Falcon by K.S. Fioso. So this is the second book in the Chronicles of the Wolf Queen series. I really enjoyed this. I think that it suffered a little bit from middle book syndrome. Absolutely it did. But this ending of this book, like, has me in a chokehold. And so I'm definitely going to continue on and finish up the series sometime soon. It is a beefy boy. The first book is The Wolf of Oren Yarrow, and it is following our queen, who basically was married to this man, and he was due to be king. And right before they crown her queen and he is crowned king, he actually leaves her. And they have a 2-year-old son at the time, and he leaves without saying why, what, when, where, what happened. He ups and leaves her and their son. And so we are then forwarded 5 years into the future, and she gets a letter from him finally saying, let's talk. And despite everybody telling her, no, do not go talk to him, don't do this, it's been 5 years, just forget about him, yada yada, she, of course, her curiosity is piqued. Like, she wants to know why he has left her and his son. And so she travels to this country that she does not know, and basically some things are afoot, some assassination attempts, some things start to happen when she goes and meets him, and that's where the story kicks off. And I like our female main character, even though at sometimes she can really drive me absolutely insane. I like the characters in here. It's a little bit of a found family type vibe. I personally enjoy the series, and I am looking forward to continuing on and finishing book 3. I gave this 4 stars. Coming in at number 3 is going to be 12 Months by Jen Butcher. I did complete the most recent installment in the Dresden Files. I'm not the hugest Dresden Files fan. I think overall it's a fine series. There are some books that are absolutely outstanding, and then some books that are just so-so for me, as it can go with such a long series. But this one felt kind of like coming home true to form of Dresden after the events that happened in the book previous that tore my heart out, and some people hate that book and some people love it. But this felt like coming back to the Dresden we haven't seen in a while, and I am looking forward to continuing this series when the next installment comes out. Coming in at number 2 is Murder on Hunter's Eve by Morgan Stang. This is a self-published series of books that starts with the murder at Spindle Manor, which won Spiffbo 9, I think, which is the self-published fantasy blog-off competition that's held by Mark Lawrence. So this is an indie author. He is fantastic. I've loved every single book in this series. 100% read these. If you like steampunk, mystery, even some thrilling, like paranormal type things, like this is the book for you. The first book, which is Murder on Spindle Manor, follows our kind of ghost monster hunter, Isabel. And she has tracked this monster to Spindle Manor, and she knows that one of the guests at Spindle Manor is the monster, and she has to interview and figure out and find clues to see which one is the monster, because they're all kind of, you know, appearing as human. And it's just such a great story. It's a absolute found family with the fantastic characters. You will laugh and hear all the emotions. I really enjoy this series of books, and I'm hoping that, I think there's going to be more in this world. This is the 3rd book. There's not another one out, but I think there is going to be more based off how this one ended, and I cannot wait for that to happen and for the next book to come out, because I will read it. So my number 1 book of July is a shock to me, because I didn't think I would like this series as much as I do, and that is going to be Never Seen by Shannon Messenger. This is the next installment in the Keeper of the Lost City series. I've really enjoyed my time through these books. These are middle grade novels, but they read like, it's almost like, I don't want to say like crack, but it's like I need to read it because it's so fast paced, and there are so many twists and turns, and there are so many twists and turns in this book, in these books, that I didn't see coming, which I always enjoy, from whether it's a mystery thriller or a fantasy setting. I personally love this. We are following our main character, Sophie, who has lived in the human world. She has parents and a family, and all these weird things happen to her, but she just kind of doesn't know what's going on. But what she really doesn't know is she's actually a fae. And one day they come and they take her to the fae world and tell her kind of what's going on, and she is now living in the Fae world with the Fae, and there's a lot of people out to get her. There's mysteries. There are certainly dark things afoot. She has a found family. She has friends. She has, it's just heartwarming at times. It's like thrilling at times, and it's definitely twisty-turny at times. And I like the characters in this book. I like everything about it. This is the book that really cemented when I finished it. I wanted to pick up the next book immediately, and that necessarily doesn't happen to me that often. So I was very happy to have that occur, and I cannot wait to continue on with the next book in the series. So that is all that I read in the month of July. I think I had an okay month. I had some chunky books in there. I'm hoping to pick up my reading more in August, which I think will happen. I've already read, I think I'm on target to read more in August than I did in July, but I'm having a great time just reading, and at some point when my library is complete, I will give you guys a tour. My library is not complete. I have books all on the floor here. I have books on the floor here. I've run out of space. We have to run down to IKEA, and we have to get more under the bookshelf. It's a whole thing. I have not had a chance to decorate the room yet, mostly because anyway, I'll explain it in a vlog, but for now, this is the way that I am. But at some point, you will get maybe a library tour. We will see. All right. What did you guys read in July? What were your favorite reads? Have you read these? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.